Recording in progress.
Hey, Keep Singing members. I am today in my living room. My in laws are in town. I love my in laws. And they are staying in the guest room, which is also where I teach music from, my office. So, interestingly, okay, here's a little teaching point. I've got some phlegm from there's a bunch of allergens out today. It's kicking my booty. But uh, here is what to do if you're able, instead of clearing your throat, how to get rid of that phlegm. So we're going to do an ah, kind of like you are just about to gargle. You're trying to get yourself to kind of gargle. Try to get, actually, gargling is okay. You're going to say ah on that gargle, though, which might not be too hard for you. You might already do that. But you're going to try to get that phlegm off of your vocal folds with that more gentle approach than clearing your throat. Clearing your throat is really hard on your vocal folds and the edges, the vocal cords. So you want to try to do it in a gentler way, but very effective. So we're going to do. The mucus is super sticky today, so it's really kind of probably in there. Instead of doing a strong, I'm trying not to do it, but that kind of thing where you're super strongly clearing your throat, you can try to do gentle clearing breaths. You'll feel saliva start to build up. This is gross, okay, but hey, whatever. All right, there's a lot grosser things that I can do with you with vocal practice, but this is probably one of the more gross things. But all right, so you'll feel saliva build up, let it build up, and then place it back in that gargle spot. What you're trying to do is get a gargle going that gets that congestion, that phlegm, that stickiness, to get into it so you can gargle it around and get it out. That's a lot better. So, okay. Again, I apologize. That is very, some of you might just be like, ooh, turn it off. Okay, it's fine. You can turn off the sound. But if you can kind of get that positioning in the back of your mouth, it feels like you're holding a golf ball in your pharynx at the top of your, the top of your trachea. That's kind of how you want to be, that golf ball type feeling. Get a little gargly thing going on there, but you're going to hold it there and let it work the the sticky phlegm, the sticky congestion, whatever you got stuck on there. um, Let it work it off, then swallow it down. All right. we share. We share. Maybe some of y'all might be like, TMI, but hey, uh, it's the insider tips that often really help. And I'm like a congestion factory, not congestion, postnasal drip. I'm a postnasal drip factory right now because of something out there in the air. So it'll probably happen again. Okay, so today, speaking of the pharynx, what we're going to do is try to open up the pharynx with a progression of little pitchless, meaning you do not need a pitched instrument for this. For these exercises, we're going to try to work on getting, finding our pharyngeal range, and I'll discuss what that actually is in just a second, and then capitalizing on it and trying to open it up. And here comes the phlegm. Good old postnasal drip. So, all right. First, let's talk about what I mean by the pharyngeal range. There we go. I'm trying not to do that. And this, y'all, this is after I've been singing for an hour. Isn't that crazy? And doing voice exercises. It's just, like I said, it's a factory. So, okay. You have probably heard the term mixed voice. Mixed voice is such a overused and misunderstood and not understood range. At its essence, it is where it's the part of your range that's the crossover between your lower register and your upper register, your lower range and your upper range, your chest voice and your head voice. That's all mixed voice is. And what that is describing the notes that you can produce in your pharyngeal area, okay? So, and that are mainly resonated in your pharyngeal area. So let's talk about the pharynx for just a minute. The pharynx is the area at the top of your throat. So if you think about that space that you have at the top of your throat and the back of your mouth, you have your soft palate, and behind that is the pharynx, and that space in there is kind of your pharyngeal area, and that is one of the places that your body resonates the sound, and that portion of singer's range is what is in pop music is often known as the money range, because that's where a lot of pop songs live, is at that higher part of your lower range. But when you so you're not in your head voice, you're not up here, but you're not down here. You're in the middle and right here where I'm speaking. And the idea is, when people try to manufacture that and push to manufacture that, rather than using the pharyngeal area and maximizing that resonance, when you push from your lower range because you think you're belting, you actually are putting a ton of strain on your larynx, and you're trying to hold your larynx in a position that it's not going to be happy with for long, and can even get damaged. I'm not saying you're going to get damaged, but I'm saying that the opportunity is greatly increased when you're trying to push from your lower range into your middle voice, mixed voice, pharyngeal range. And so you want to learn to maximize that middle part of your voice. So what we're going to do today is we're going to find that. We're going to kind of work our way into it, and then really really kind of nail it, find out where it is, and then I'll tell you kind of how to go from there. All right, so the first exercise we're going to do to open things up a little bit and to get our lower range kind of ready to go, we're going to go all the way up to where we would have our primo passaggio. We've talked about that, where your larynx has to shift in order to enter your upper range or your head voice. And remember, I'm going to go into all that. So for nomenclature on that, go do past replays. And I try to label them pretty specifically. So we're going to try to stay middle to low. And let me see if I've got a whiteboard already made for us here. Have I? I don't see it. No, I got a bunch of other ones. Okay, let's make one. Okay, so here is our lovely, this is called the EA exercise. And if you think back to your old science classes, there's a sine wave for you. Woo! Okay, time goes this way in this exercise. All right, T. Ha ha, we're just really going back to physics, or whatever this would be. Okay, so our E vowel is going to start here, and the pronunciation would be the flat E. The A vowel would start here, okay, and continue on like that. So, and this really supposed to indicate that this restarted, but it just keeps going. And you're going to continue this for a full breath, like try to use up an entire breath. Notice that the E starts before the crest. So if this is the crest and this is the trough, the vowels, you change your vowels in between them, not on them. So you're not going to switch to the E at the top of the crest or at the bottom of the trough. You're going to switch before. So you're rounding the crest on E and then rounding the trough on A. All right, let us then let me demonstrate for you. Now, it is not very attractive, okay? I got a lot of really unattractive but super effective exercises for you. Okay, so we're gonna stick our tongue out just past our bottom lip. You're gonna keep your jaw relaxed and your lips relaxed. They're not going to participate in this very much at all. The thing that's gonna be the major operative in this is the tongue, and precisely the middle and back of the tongue. The front of the tongue is gonna be kind of sticking out of your mouth. It's gonna be pretty stationary. And you want everything to be pretty still, not stiff, but still. And we're gonna do our exercise that way. I'm gonna show it to you from the front and the side. Okay, so you notice I've got my tongue tip just out, just past my bottom lip. Okay, I am not doing nanny nanny boo boo tongue. Okay, you're just getting it out of your mouth and keeping it so that the focus is on the middle and back of the tongue. All right, so here we go. I'm going to take in a breath this way, and then I'm going to meter that breath out so that I can let the sine waves keep on rolling, okay? All right, so I stayed all in my lower range. I went as high as I could go in my lower portion of my range, and as low as I could go in my lower portion of my range. Don't feel like you have to go to the maximal extremes. Just go high and go low. You do want to try to get as close to as high as you can go and as close to as low as you can go, but don't do it to where you're depressing your larynx and you're feeling that that kind of feeling, or the okay. No, Keep it in your natural voice where your larynx is in conversation level, just normal, not imposed or suppressed. So now's the time to pause the video and try that on your own. All right, now that you have paused the video and tried that on your own, let's move on. Okay, so now we're gonna do the yawn sigh, all right? Love this one, because I kind of love yawning. Oh yes, I do. And I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I'm missing one that I had in mind. Oh yes, the resonator wake up. Now I've taught this elsewhere, so let me just do a quick review of it. We're gonna, again, stick our tongue out like the EA, okay? But this time we're gonna focus on NG, as in the last two consonants in the word sing, sing, and then we're going to focus on the Italian vowels of A, E, I, O, and U, but we're going to pronounce them with their pure tone, which means Italian vowels, A, E, O, U, okay? So that just, the pure tone vowel is just like you are able to hold your mouth in one position instead of using diphthongs like we do for the American pronunciation of vowels. A is actually E put together. A, E is the only true one. I is A plus E. I. O is actually O with a W on the end. O. Ooh is another pure one. Ooh. But we also put W on the end. Ooh. So you just want it to be A, E, O, U, without any additional movement. Okay, so we're going to do our NG consonantal cluster with our tongue sticking out, not super attractive, and then go back and forth between the very tight NG, and you will feel it here, and that's where you should feel it. You don't want it all jammed up in your nose, but you do want it to be vibrating here, and back and forth between that and the ah. First, we're going to just stick with the ah, just back and forth between that. And here is what it looks like. And again, you can just do it till you run out of breath. So now you would pause your video and you would try that yourself, okay? Feel free to make a little video of yourself, post it, upload it to your YouTube, put it on unlisted if you want, and post the link in your journal in our member area, Keep Singing member area, and tag me on that. Or if you put it to public, I'll see it. But you can also just shoot me an email saying, I did that, so go look at it. I'm happy to look at it and give you feedback. Okay, so now here, let me just give you an example of what the other vowels would look like. So that would be the eh, then the e would be O. So you're going to feel it in the middle and back of your tongue. You don't want to see a lot of vowel shaping with the front of your tongue, your lips, or your jaw. All right, so try not to let them participate. Okay, so hit pause and do those. Okay, now we're going to do a yawn sigh. All right, yawn sigh is we're going to harness the power of the yawn for your voice. Now yawns are awesome. I love them. There's complete abandonment in them, isn't there? So again, this is not a super attractive like thing, because when you yawn and you're really yawning, you just can't control your face. Like you can try, but we all look just a little weird when we yawn. And besides that, our mouth is just open and right? So that's what we want to capitalize on. When you are open up on your yawn, your soft palate raises and your pharyngeal area is all spread out and as big as it's ever going to get. So we want to capture that. So what you do is you get a yawn to happen, and you're going to yawn and enjoy that. Put a sigh. We're going to vocalize behind it. Put a big sigh, and you're going to let that sigh come down. Now, at a certain point, you're going to feel like the yawn is kind of dissipating, but not for you, my friend. So you want to harness that. That's the point at which the work really begins. You want to support that all the way down to the bottom of your range. We tend to let it die out, not even halfway down, about a third of the way down. So we want to use it to learn how to support all the way down with all the maximized openness that we have gotten from that yawn. And we're going to hold that in place all the way down. Okay, so let me try to show you a yawn sigh. Okay, so one successful yawn sigh. So you notice that at a certain point, I was able to open my eyes. Before that, I wasn't. And that's kind of typical for people. Some people can yawn with their eyes open the whole time. Most of us, it's a natural reflex to close your eyes when you yawn. So you're going to close your eyes, and then, because that can help you as a signal, when you can easily open your eyes, keep the space, but know that when you're able to open your eyes, that's when you need to kick into gear. Hold everything open and support it all the way down. So you can hit rewind and see that gorgeousness all you want, and then imitate. Okay, the last one. So now that we have opened up things, we've opened up our resonator like areas. We've loosened things up. We have accessed our pharyngeal area, and we have maximized the space and stretched things out. So now we're going to do what really, really pinpoints your pharyngeal range, and that is the monkey. So today's exercises are not exactly, meant for public consumption. You may want to find a closet to do these in, but hey, whatever. I didn't say I was out there to get you, like people attracted to you by your exercises, just to give you things that are effective that are going to help you sing better. Okay, so the monkey, when you do this, which I will of course do in a minute, you will find your pharynx opens up a bit, but the sound resonates right in your pharyngeal area. And so this is a way to identify what's my pharyngeal area, and how does it feel when I'm in there, and then I'll talk a little bit more about it in just a second. So I'm going to do it, and then you're going to pause it, and you're going to do it, and then we're going to talk about a few things. Okay. All right. So here it is, the monkey. Okay, So now you're going to pause and you're going to try it, and then we're going to talk about it. So pause. Okay. Hopefully you have unpaused and you have done it, or you paused and you did it, now you've unpaused. So when you did it, could you feel that expansiveness back there? When you are just doing this as an exercise for the first time, it might feel like someone's jamming a stick straight into the back of your mouth, like center. And that is because you haven't learned yet to really space your pharyngeal, like the pharyngeal region out, like, and keep the expansiveness. Totally fine. Totally fine. You got to start somewhere. So start there, and then keep doing it and keep trying it until you feel expansiveness. Second comment I'll make is that should feel basically effortless. In the beginning, it might not. It might feel like you're pushing. But that is your challenge, to play with it. Play with it. Play with it, y'all. If this one isn't fun to play with, then I don't know what to tell you. But play with it. Like, go when you're taking a shower, mess around with the monkey. When you're rearranging your closet, mess around with the monkey. When you're in your car, mess around with the monkey. And play with it, and really, it's very instructive for you. Very instructive. Pay attention to what you're feeling. Pay attention to any tension you're holding on to. Pay attention to any forcedness. It should feel like fullness and very focusedness, but it should not feel like forcedness. And when you have found that, when you have the volume and the brightness and the strangeness of that sound, you have located your pharynx. You might want to go back, your pharyngeal range. You might want to go back and do a few more yawn sighs to get some opening up, and then do a couple more monkeys, and then call it a day. Like, don't do this all day long. Just do a handful of them and pay attention, and then move on with your day. Okay, my friends, today we've talked about how to clear your throat if you've got a bunch of congestion and stuff. And then we talked about what is the pharyngeal range, the mixed voice, are they the same, are they not? What is it actually, and how do we find it, and then how do we develop it? And that's all we have time for today. All right. God bless you. I so appreciate you. I'm here for you. Would you please send me anything that is keeping you stuck? I want your issues. I want your problems. Give me you're tired, you're weary. Give it to me and let me help you get unstuck. The fourth week of July, I will not be here. I'll be out of the country. So I will not be able to have that particular lesson this month. However, the more stuff you give me, I'm able to incorporate it into trainings, and I can address it in future trainings and even build modules if it's a big enough topic. Okay, so and if it's a question you have, it is likely a question someone else has. So dear friend, send me those questions, send me those things that have you stuck. Let's get you unstuck, let's get you going. All right, bless you.